Working the Word, Season 1, Episode 12. Can you think of about three of those long time sayings about listening? What about this one? Who can hear will feel. And there's another one, like stick break in your ears. Feel free to share yours with us. Hi, I'm Dr. Madonna, and this is my podcast series, Working the Word, in which we seek to incarnate the Word of God in our daily work experience. And I want today to talk about the essential leadership communication skill called listening, and listening to the elder workers, both retired and those still active in the workplace. Now, listening has been identified as one of the most used and one of the most important communication skills, whether it's in your personal or workplace context. It is reported that listening is the first language skill to be acquired as the human being in the womb listens as he or she grows. Now, there's a passage in the biblical book of Proverbs that takes listening to a whole new level. It's Proverbs chapter 22, which makes for good reading and which would be good to internalize in our daily work life. Now, as leaders, I know many of you recognize the need to have young people have a greater voice at all levels in the organization and in the workplace processes. And that's fine. As young people, they have fresh ideas and fresh ways of viewing the world. But to cope with the volatile and uncertain, complex and ambiguous sort of VUCA environment, we not only need the resilience of the young to pivot, but we need to tap into the wisdom of the older employees, those retired and those still in the workplace. And we need that wisdom to deal with the ambiguity and the volatility that we continue and will continue to experience. Now, tapping into the wisdom of the seniors is like what the chapter 22 in Book of Proverbs, what the chapter advocates. Now, in verse 17, the father king guides his son to incline your ear and hear the words of the wise. He says, apply your heart to my knowledge. And in verse 28 of Proverbs 22, he says, do not remove the ancient landmark which your fathers have set. Listening to the ancients, the elderly, not discarding the landmark accomplishments and wisdom, is about tapping into institutional memory. And by institutional memory, I'm talking about that collective set of facts and concepts and experiences and know-how held by a group of people. And in this instance, we really want to talk about the elderly in the workplace context. Now, a critical facet of institutional memory is that it transcends the individual, meaning it's an ongoing transmission of the facts, the concepts, the know-how, the experiences between and among, the workers in the workplace. And then when we talk about institutional memory and how important it is for organizational continuity, we need to be aware that there are different types and combinations of institutional memory. So, for example, the first and very important type of institutional memory is an event memory. That's basic. It's like, construction of new facilities, the arrival of new employees. Those things make up this type of memory. And then we have the process memory, which tells us in organization how things are done, so that we can save time and ensure that there's reliable repetition in the future. And lastly, there are decision memories, which explain how the organization, how the workplace chose one path or policy course as against the other, right? So it is in combining these three, the shared nature of institutional memory, it makes it invaluable to any organization. So if your workplace is constantly losing institutional memory, well then you could say that organization is in a state of crisis. So it is building a future, but many times a future that is not informed by the past. And therefore it's sort of creating a ruptured space in which to build a future. Now, we are in the maelstrom of the VUCA environment, the volatility, the uncertainty, the complexity, and the ambiguity. And I really believe, and the literature would show that the survival of many organizations would become wrapped up in the ways in which we record, we recall, and access the past. I mean, I want to return to the old folks saying, who can hear will feel. But we have a beautiful book called Conversation Capsules at Work. And of course, our emotional intelligence coaching process and our sessions, they can help you on your listening journey. I'm Dr. Madonna Doyle. Contact us at admin@madonnadoyle.com and do check out our website at madonnadoyle.com. And remember, we spread in joy.